Hello and welcome to coverage of the 2014 Magic Online Community Cup. We're in Renton, Washington at Wizards of the Coast headquarters in the booth. Randy Buehler sitting directly to my left. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. We've got Brian David Marshall in the red zone covering all of the action that we're not covering here on the main feature match. Speaking of that, Tom Lepore of the Wizards of the Coast team. This is a Cube human being. He was one of the early developers of Cube out in the field. It helped get him a job here.
Literally made his reputation by writing about Cube format, 10 plus years ago.
In an intelligent, development-minded manner.
Absolutely, and that is how he got R&D's attention to then get an internship, which turned into a job. Right.
You can see he's from the Midwest. He invented the Cube, it's air quotes. It kind of was a thing that was developed by multiple people and kind of grew, but he was a big influencer of Cube early. He's a master swordsman, and I actually believe that. Like, we have some jokes, but he can actually handle a sword, so you don't want to beat him. Frank Lepore, our champion. Frank Lepore, he's a TCG player, editor, and community manager, and he makes a lot of content. He's done a lot of written work and stuff like that. Videos and such, and so we have sent him forth.
Deck, right? He's got the 60-card deck, which is, of course, going to lose
I didn't know that.
Tom Lepore's old-school blue-white control. I'm not even convinced that Tom would have drafted this deck differently without a stipulation.
Oh, my goodness.
It's good.
And we're going to expect Frank's deck to be pretty heavily diluted. Now, Frank did get to pick whatever he wanted, right? Yeah. If you're the 60-card deck,
his only stipulation is he has to play 60, which means, what are you going to play, 24 lands? So you've got, 36 of your 45 draft picks in the deck?
Yeah, that's tough. Probably pushes you to multiple colors. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. A streamlined blue-white list, which did just take a mulligan, by the way.
Sure. Streamlined but creatureless. I joke about Tom would have drafted every card anyway. He would definitely be better off with a couple big flyers. Kind of Grixis-y control, I think, is where Frank wound up.
Card draw spells don't look quite as cool when you draw junky cards with them. But hey, you'll take what you can get, I suppose.
Frank off browsing deck lists, or what's he up to? I want to see his hand.
Maybe he made a real constructed deck. Oh, wow. Look at this opener. Bitter Blossom?
That's not bad.
And he's even got a one-drop.
The Siren? Well, he knows his opponent's creatureless. The Hunted Siren is a 1/1 flyer. That's all it does.
That's pretty sweet. Is that Ravages up there? Ravages of War?
Catastrophe.
A Catastrophe, right, which is similar to Ravages.
But 6 mana. It's your choice.
Yeah. Wow, this is going to be huge,
Bitter Blossom's a complete blowout here.
Yeah, does this resolve? That's the question.
Yes.
We know it does. And he's going to play Prowler, so he actually wants to wait around a little bit. That is risky business.
It is.
Not that Una's Prowler isn't good. It does actually deliver beats, and even a little quicker than Bitter Blossom at the onset. But Bitter Blossom is so nasty. And now he's opened up to things like Mana Leak and a whole bunch of counterspells that he wasn't before. He's just going to have to play it, though. Doesn't even have another play anyway. Come on, Frank. Yes.
Yeah, got away with it.
And he gets away with it. So he plays around 4 Spike, which is nice, but he doesn't play around about 4 other counterspells.
If he played it in the other order, he would have gotten punished.
Why?
There's an Essence Scatter in his
hand. The Prowler.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So he plays perfectly and gets rewarded. Is that?
No, I don't think that's what happened.
I don't think so either. But all right, so here's a Vidalfin Shackles. Not very good. I mean, it can steal the Hypnotic Siren, but it's going to take a whole turn worth of mana. It'll basically shut down the Prowler, but those, the stream of Fairy Rogues will not slow down.
It buys Tom a bunch of time, because the Rogues aren't going to attack. They'll just keep running into each other.
Yes.
It's going to force Frank to basically build up a whole bunch of Fairies before he starts attacking with them.
And I think he's fine with that. Now, the question becomes, Lepore, I mean, he's in white. There's a lot of answers to Bitter Blossom in white in the cube, Oblivion Ring type effects.
Yeah.
Can get rid of it.
Tom has several of those. I mean, I think buying time is perfectly reasonable for Tom here.
Okay.
He can steal the Siren while it's untapped. He can threaten to block or whatever, and I think that'll force Frank to wait a couple of turns, which then, gives Tom time to both find an answer to Bitter Blossom, and then he's already got a sweeper in his hand. He can use Catastrophe to kill all the creatures at 6.
Yeah, he's also found a second island, has Tom Lepore, so that's ticking up nicely, and Thieving Magpie plus Talrand look a lot worse now. Now, I think that what we're going to see, though, I think that Frank's just going to jam here. He's got Diabolic Edict. If he wants, he can try to keep as much possible heat down. I don't know if he's going to find it worth it or not here.
Interesting.
Interesting to take a rogue, yeah.
Yeah, fairy rather than the siren. I guess that's better if Frank has a bounce spell of some kind.
Yes, good point. Now, again, though, Frank knows that Tom is creatureless, right? Mm-hmm. So, Diabolic Edict, not getting much better than this anyway.
No, it's true. Yeah, I'm with you. I would Edict.
Wow, he didn't.
I think he prefers to play Talrand first. He's going to run it into Essence Scatter, though. The whole playing perfectly thing?
He's actually playing Thieving
much.
Magpie instead of Talrand.
I guess because it can't.
I don't know why. It can get stolen and it blocks all of his creatures.
Yeah, that's what Tom's thinking about. Look, Tom leaned back in his chair.
Yeah, he's like, I wouldn't mind having one of those.
I could counter this or I could steal it. It's a tricky call.
This is
I think I would use the Essence Scatter just because
it's too
so
scary.
much more mana efficient this way. Then he can leave up Dissipate next turn.
Keep doing it and we just keep losing.
It is tricky, though.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, he's thinking how much he would enjoy having a Thieving Magpie.
Pretty good against a slew of 1/1s.
I think Tom's going to counter it, though. I agree with this line.
You like this?
I do. It's just so much more mana efficient. And
Yes.
like, Tom's at 11s. I mean, you get scary if Frank has something like a Diabolic Edict, and then all of a sudden he's hitting you for 5, and you're just struggling to preserve your life total. When Tom has to get to 6 to sweep the board, and he really would prefer to find a Bitter Blossom answer before he sweeps the board.
And he's just going to pass the turn back and leave up Dissipate.
Yeah.
He's got Elspeth Knight Errant, so he has a nice backup plan for actually getting a win.
Right.
He's got the tools here, but the one thing he's missing is an answer for Bitter Blossom, a permanent answer.
It's kind of, yeah.
Scroll Rack for Lepore.
Wow. I wonder if you counter that.
I don't know. No, I guess not. In fact, it looks like Lepille had not even a thought of it.
Nobody respects Scroll Rack.
Yeah, Scroll Rack's pretty good.
I love
Especially
a good
when you
Scroll
have
Rack.
dead cards in your hand
I'll
because
leave
your
it out.
opponent's on no creatures and you're running
I mean, you need a
removal.
reshuffle to make it really good, but sure.
Truth.
Wow.
I got
fine.
all day.
That's an answer to Bitter Blossom.
Oh, baby.
Now it's just a question of getting him 7 mana.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to brainstorm to try to hit his land because he's not hitting a land, but he also doesn't want to not have Dissipate up, so I think he's just going to wait until end step and
Yeah, well, he
brainstorm
actually
that.
declined last end step
Yeah.
because he doesn't have a reshuffle effect, so he'd rather get deeper before he bothers with the brainstorm, ideally waiting for a reshuffle effect.
Yeah, but now it's more important because he's going to lose, he's missing mana. You know, he hit his land drop last turn, missed it this turn.
Right. Agreed. I think now probably, if there's nothing that he needs to dissipate, now probably is the time to brainstorm.
Yeah, he's going to have to, I think he's just chosen to leave it up here because now he knows that Frank's going to scroll rack. He's going to look at 3 new cards. Like, having no Dissipate for whatever the scariest thing out of 3 cards or up to 3 cards on the top of your opponent's library is
I
pretty
meant this
scary.
end step is the time to brainstorm.
Right. Frank's still not attacking here.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's sitting on that edict. I guess if he plays the edict, he sees
Okay,
less
got
cards
my
off the
4 ready.
scroll rack, so there's this weird, like, cards in hand are valuable thing going on for him.
God, he's got Snuff Out, Edict. Like, you don't want those hanging around. He knows what the 2 cards are.
Snuff Out's non-black, though, right? Doesn't hit a fairy.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah, Tom does go for the brainstorm, and he finds 2 lands. 2 lands and a Supreme Verdict, so Tom's curve is set up to go Catastrophe, untap Karn, or possibly sit on Dissipate until turn 7 Karn, untap Catastrophe.
It's weird because it looks like he's under a ton of pressure, but Frank's not attacking and not using his creature removal, so he's actually not.
I can't possibly imagine what this stipulation is.
Wow, Vidalcan Shackle's doing a ton of work here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that card's great.
It's
That
stolen
is-
a 1/1 Fairy Rogue and has
Good
completely
enough.
changed the direction of
It
this
has
game.
threatened to steal more if Frank ever attacks into it.
Right, and now all of a sudden the Snuff Out isn't quite as
Vulcan
good,
card?
I suppose. Or excuse me, the Diabolic Edict. Now he's going to have to use Snuff Out on the factory. He can do that, right? Snuff Out's only non-black.
I think it's non-black, yeah. But I mean, I don't expect Tom to activate the factory.
You think he'll just rather just hold
Yeah,
the
that's just a land. He needs to get to 7 for Karn.
Eventually. This isn't good news
That's
for.
what we call a tell. Tom is going to
think
go
I
ahead and
block.
sweep the board. Going to use the verdict rather than the catastrophe, I guess.
The old Supreme.
which allows him to leave up 2 mana, which is
Bluffing.
bluffing mana. Yeah, it doesn't actually do anything with that hand.
Yeah, I wonder if you just untap the Shackles there. Like, the 1 damage isn't really relevant to his plan.
True.
I think he'd rather just have Shackles.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, Shackles untapped has value, too, because you're 2 mana. You can steal the fairy on your turn.
Right.
And then
Untap
it just
Karn.
won't. Exactly.
And it's huge, because that fairy can actually pressure Karn.
And he's going to untap Karn anyway.
Right.
But yeah, there will be the 1 annoying fairy hitting Karn once.
So it looks like Frank doesn't have quite enough to go like Talrand, Edict You, make a bird.
He also does not have the 6 mana for the Worm Coil.
And he doesn't have that either. So he's going to get rid of Snuff Out, Edict, everything.
He keeps. Oh, he doesn't keep the tower.
Yeah, just all 4. Still no red mana for Electrolyze, but Cryptologist can help dig through the deck, and Rager can too. This is just kind of a value turn for him, it looks like.
Tom totally should have untapped Shackles and given back the fairy if he was
Yeah.
going to Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
Because now this Karn is actually under pressure. He
Yes.
can't just Karn away the Bitter Blossom.
And feel safe. Like, in fact, Karn dies.
I wonder
that's
if
his play.
he misclicked through it. Like if-
It's weird because it happens on your untap, which nothing else does.
Right,
so
right.
maybe
Don't
he
have
did.
stop set there.
Yeah.
Well, it triggers.
It
goes on the
actually
stack.
says like, do you want to untap this?
You almost never do, so you're just kind of conditioned to say, no, I don't want to untap it. What are you talking about?
Definitely did here though.
Maybe his plan is Elspeth and leave up Dissipate mana?
So he
3
can
1/1s
chump
into
block
play?
and then Elspeth. Well, no, that's the old Elspeth, so he only gets
Oh,
one.
this is the 1/1/1 Elspeth.
Yeah, but it's still not
course.
bad. He can chump block and then Elspeth takes 1 and goes back down to 4. That's not that bad.
Right. Yeah, that seems like the much
And
better
he
one.
has Shackles up.
Yeah, or
Shackles
Dissipate.
Or Dissipate. I like that. It just looks like the power level of the cards in Lepili's hand are so overwhelming given what Lepore has here that Lepili's going to be able to figure out a line one way or another here. And now all of a sudden the attention gets directed over to Elspeth, I'm assuming.
Nice.
And interestingly here, Lepili,
Yeah, Elspeth.
now he's
Oh,
going to steal
funny.
the other fairy. I like that.
Sure.
This is nice. Yeah,
I mean,
this
he's
is
still got a
really
catastrophe,
punishing.
so he can still sweep the board if Frank does something super scary.
Yeah.
Now what? It's a big card. Now what? It's a big card.
And what does Frank do? Worm Coil? It's a good one.
Very historical.
Kind of protects him against catastrophe, too.
Yeah, it's another nice target for Karn, but he obviously has to make decisions here.
Well, yeah, it has to die to get the tokens, and Karn would remove it from the game.
Exactly. So Karn hitting Worm Coil is pretty good for Tom.
That's got to be the play.
Also, though, he
Deal
can
with Bitter
just chump
Blossom
block.
later.
He can just chump block the Worm Coil. Like, it's not like it's getting through.
No, Karn gets rid of the Worm Coil. I think that's correct.
I kind of like just throwing a token in front of it and getting rid of Bitter Blossom.
You get Bitter Blossom next turn.
I guess it does open you
I mean,
up to
Shackles
removal.
gets rid of Bitter Blossom. Like,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he can't do it now, but you're right. It does mitigate Bitter Blossom, as we've seen throughout the course of this game.
yeah, he will have to decide whether he wants to cash Karn in to get rid of the Bitter Blossom or whether he wants to go up first.
He's probably going to be forced to do that here if since Talrand's going to make a bird. I think. So
Edict
actually,
gets rid of
Karn,
this soldier, so Rager gets to attack somebody and get through for 2.
yeah. So you can take Karn and relieve the ability to even get rid of Bitter Blossom.
Right. So if you're Frank, you would attack Karn here?
I think so. Like the Bitter
Yeah,
Blossom
I
going
think I
forward is
agree
really
with you.
important.
And that is in fact what he's done. Now that catastrophe in Tom's hand is going to do some serious work
It's
here.
nasty. And Lepore's just on nothing here. Like Cryptologist can help
Face
dig him
Fetters, too.
back, but jeez.
I told you, Tom's deck is sweet.
So you get to Catastrophe with Shackles and 2 Planeswalkers? Is that
And Karn.
accurate?
No, you also, two Planeswalkers and Shackles, and sweep the board with Catastrophe. Your opponent has a card in hand, though. And a Scroll Rack.
Has anyone ever started a Karn game in the history of the Community Cup?
Not that I remember.
I don't think
Has
so.
anyone
the
had that
last
much
3.
time?
Why would you reset when you have this board? Oh, he even gets to leave up the 2 for Shackles?
Yep.
So he even gets to steal the next fairy.
Yeah.
Wow. Make a soldier.
You know what? I think this is pretty close to game here. Now, he's at 11, but the writing's on the wall.
Agreed.
And there's that pesky Snuff Out that's sort of been hanging around. Hey, he has a target for it now.
I can't imagine Frank has all that much in his sideboard to bring in either. Like, he clearly
Right.
wants to take out all this creature removal
Right.
against the spellbound deck. But he's playing just about every card he drafted.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it's
he's
super
got-
annoying. Like, the Shackles is pretty much here to stay. I mean, Frank is blue-black with, like, maybe a tiny bit of red.
Yeah.
He can't even touch the Shackles.
Yeah,
All right,
he's
we've seen
done.
enough.
He has seen enough.
Yeah,
Nicol Bolas.
Nicol Bolas.
That's a sweet one.
Maybe you do hang on.
Nah, you're not going to resolve Nicol Bolas. Still had to dissipate in his hand, too.
You didn't know that.
Yes, he did.
I would play. No
You would
way I
play?
scoop. No chance I'm scoop. I'm at 11. He's got.
Karn?
Yeah, no problem. I'd beat Karn.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's easy, but you can start stealing creatures. You can destroy permanents with Nicol Bolas. You get the activation if it resolves. Maybe you like draw a duress and then like a land you need for Nicol Bolas or something and just get
You
them.
don't ever get to keep cards in hand, you know.
Well,
They all
I
die
said
to
you
Karn.
draw to duress,
Okay.
duress them, draw Nicol Bolas, play it.
I think that's
I
a
have
perfectly.
a plan.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable. I mean, the clock is the reason to scoop there.
That's fair.
Like he's got,
And this is a control mirror, so they are going to need a bunch of time.
He has to
That
win
is
2
true.
games now. Okay, so
This is Frank.
Frank's
Not
sideboard.
if
He
they
managed
can
to
pull
get
their
the
feet.
edicts into the sideboard. Look how skinny that sideboard is.
Oh no.
Fair, I guess. I'm just saying.
Because like the lands count against him too, right? We talked about 36 spells from 45 picks, but the lands are picks too of those other 9. So
He's got skull crack.
I mean, look, you're scraping for playables. I mean, what Skullcrack's a good 36th card, right?
Look at him just
35. He's playing 25 lands. That makes sense.
skin render's pretty awkward. You know, you have to do it.
I mean, it's better than
It's gonna-
Snuff Out or an Edict.
Is it? It's going to kill one of Frank's creatures.
Well, you're going to Edict the thing he stole with Shackles. You have a card in your deck that's only good after your opponent steals your things? I'm running a Hill Giant. Sorry.
It's not a hill giant. You have to put the counter somewhere, including itself if you don't have any other target.
My opponent has stolen my creature. I can either kill it or kill it and get a 3/3.
I like this better. this is an analogy I can get behind. Oh man, this is nasty.
You got anything cool over there, Brian?
Yeah, I'm watching. Yeah.
Oh, they're playing. I need to watch this game.
We'll get this match back up for you quickly.
Here we go.
I thought Bitter Blossom was going to be so good for
Yeah,
Frank.
I did too.
Okay, I like this though. Turn
Yeah,
1
Cryptologist.
Enclave
Now you're
Cryptologist. That
talking.
can help sift through some of the junkers that he has to play in his deck since it's a 60-card cube deck.
Well, later. Maybe later.
Oh.
Maybe in a couple of turns.
Was that Oust?
Yes, it was.
Can he dig it back up right now with that top? Give me that thing. He needs black mana. Look at his hand. It's beautiful.
Not with 2 islands. It's not.
I know. That's what I said. He needs black mana. Oh, find a swamp, Frank.
By the way, I hesitate to point this out, but
Yeah.
if you look at the standings,
Yeah, what happened?
the bad guys have won a couple matches.
Community has taken 2 matches
Of,
so far.
Of 2 completed
Of
matches.
2 completed matches.
They're
yes.
2 for 2?
Yes.
Community is 2 for 2.
I'll take
The
it.
bad guys.
I'll take it. Yeah, I was like, wait, what are you talking about? And then I remembered.
Oh yeah,
Impulse.
the guy criticized my deck manipulation.
In the meantime, though, ta-da! Black Mana Source has appeared, and Bitter Blossom's on the table.
It's not bad.
That's game. Let's just move on to 3 here, Tom Lapilli.
It wasn't a game last time.
Yeah, you're right, it wasn't. But this hand's a lot different.
Yes.
Bitter Blossom's going to do massive work unless, and you can see that Lapilli's
They banned that
pretty
card.
aggressively digging through his deck trying to find something.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Shackles. That was the
Maybe
big
you've heard
difference between the last game.
Exactly.
Shackles just bought him a million turns, which is, he only needed about 37 of them to set up.
Okay, he has found no answers so far. He found a Catastrophe, which is a nice one for later in the game, yeah, but right now Bitter Blossom is going to start putting big pressure on him pretty quickly here.
Do I want any of these?
So Lepore is going to Sensei's Divining Top
I
here.
guess that's an accurate statement.
We are in the second to last round of action here at the Community Cup. After the next round, we're going to be crowning a champion. Will it be the Wizards of the Coast team? currently
Yes.
one
I want a Zodiac
solitary
monkey.
point behind. The Zodiac monkey. Or will it be the community team who has come from all parts of the country and the world to fight on our behalf? All right. I got to say, I'm pretty much in love with Frank Lepore's board here. No.
There it is.
No.
Just sack.
That's not how this works.
What if you want to shuffle later?
We'll get there later.
Sure,
Okay,
Elspeth.
well, that's a good thing too.
Gonna steal an enclave cryptologist? Is that like your worst nightmare, Marshall?
I'm just like cringing right
Shackles to steal the enclave control. Wait, I gotta let you level it up first.
She's an alright.
Then I'll steal it.
now.
I'm not stealing it yet.
That's exactly what he's doing. I'm just sick to my stomach right now. I can't watch this bloodbath.
Well, I'll make it bigger, easier to watch now.
That's my favorite looter, and looters are like my favorite cards.
It's the best looter ever.
It's the best.
Who do you take, enclave cryptologist or derogatory speaker?
Cryptologist. Don't even insult me. I'm not Rashad.
Top activation over here.
I mean, I like mana as much as the next person, but come on, look at what he's doing.
Level up.
And he even found a second black mana source. So let's just get Liliana going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's work on that hand.
Oh, that was loot, not level up.
Loot.
Question is valid.
Loot into Liliana mana. So here we go. Let's start chewing away at the hand. Let's
Yeah.
make sure that Elspeth's in check.
Yeah, plussing Liliana is really good here for
This could be really bad, though, because if Frank attacks, Elspeth goes to 4, then Tom can
Yeah, reroll is in
untap,
good shape.
steal the other fairy rogue, jump a soldier, and kill
Oh my.
Liliana. And still have Elspeth on 5.
What did you just see, Brian?
I'm sorry, I'm just watching some of the matches that will be bringing you in the red zone, and I'm having involuntary stomach reaction.
Got it.
Oh, is Frank going to sniff this plan out? He does. He doesn't attack Elspeth. Now he gets to keep Liliana around. Good for you, Frank. Shields up. What is he going to get with Demonic Tutor? He has so many choices. 60 card deck. They're all singleton.
Yeah, that is a really smart no attack. Living in fear of the Vidalcan Shackles.
Yeah, it's so tempting to just blast into Elspeth. But
Yeah.
also, any bounce spell or whatever, too, he's playing
Yeah, it's
around
not just
that
the
as well.
Shackles. That's
Right.
fair. Yeah, and he knows that Elspeth has the ability to kill Liliana if he doesn't have a blocker. This turn has to be Shackles.
I will block, good sir.
Alright, token is attacking Liliana.
Yep.
Rogue's gonna get in the way.
Do I even? I don't think so. But I don't know.
Oh, or is it? All right. So Liliana's safe. Elspeth is safe. Enclave Cryptologist is currently safe, though. Don't do it, Tom. Tom. Come on, man.
Monkey.
Oh, he's thinking about it. Look at him.
How do you not play Shackles? I guess the question is, do you activate it or do you leave up Essence Scatter? I mean, maybe that's a real question.
What's our?
I don't really want to let my opponent loot again.
What's
though.
the worst thing your opponent can do on 4 lands? I don't know the answer.
Oh, he goes Supreme Verdict. Supreme Verdict followed by Make a Token.
Okay.
So this gives him the advantage
So
of
now
the
he's one
Liliana
token up.
Elspeth. Yeah, he's a token up, exactly.
Okay. Top on
That better.
upkeep. Interesting. With the tutor, you know, his mana's a little crimped here.
Yeah, I think Tom is really worried about Liliana. Liliana's plus ability. Tom's hand is so good. I mean, he's blue-white control. He needs to keep cards in his hands.
He's going to have to
That's-
get that
that's where his
shackles out of
answers
his
live.
hand. Now, one thing that's interesting is he does have Brainstorm, which does a really good job of protecting.
I think Brainstorm will be the card he discards to Liliana this turn.
Oh, really?
Wait,
Essence Scatter? I mean,
Maybe you keep Essence Scatter.
the interesting thing is he can Brainstorm to put the good stuff on top.
But he has to kill Liliana. Like, that's
True.
that only works once.
So, like, is the plan here for Frank just ultimate Liliana at this point, or just keep plussing until he's on no cards? And
You plus until you run him out of cards, especially if you can. Yeah, he finds a land, so he can DT for something that costs 2. Now when he pluses Liliana, he doesn't have to discard anything.
right.
Yeah, he should just
So
DT for a
what is
2-drop.
it? This is the big question here.
Yeah, no idea.
Because, he doesn't have
You wanna-
answers
you
for
wanna return
Elspeth.
the
That's the problem, right? I mean, Elspeth is a big issue. Sure, he's got Liliana going. That's pretty cool.
Who is
Uh-oh,
helping
is that
him over
Sean
his shoulder?
Plott
Is
helping
Sean
him?
Plott
Uh-oh.
whispering in his ear?
I'm listening.
Sean Plott might be whispering in his ear.
Dude, I won! I beat Mike Turian! What? You're kidding! No! I don't believe you.
Mike Churn was supposed to 3-0 very easily after beating Grizzlebrand. I thought that was the plan.
It is aggro versus aggro, and Mike's not allowed to block.
Now, did they find out that he can't block yet? Because when he played it first, he said there was one spot where he was supposed to block, and he's just like, I'm not going to block. And they didn't know.
They might not even know.
His deck is so aggressive, he just attacked the whole time anyway. I mean, it is still Mike Turian after all.
Right. I
Like right there.
Yeah, I mean, I like my vision.
Okay, he got Jitte.
nice.
Jitte's interesting. Jitte
Yes,
can
it
help
is.
protect the, or control the soldier situation. And Elspeth. Wow, I like this
Potentially.
play.
It's absolutely the right thing to get, right?
Yeah.
Because
That's correct. It's
it
almost
lets
like
him plus Liliana
I might have
without
to
having to
follow
discard a card.
Yes, I love that play. So now
Okay, Tom
Liliana
does
gets
pass the
plus.
brainstorm
He
as a
does.
response.
Yeah, so he's hiding stuff.
Or finding something crappy to discard.
Couldn't
And
tell
I
if that was
guess
good
it's Swords to
or bad.
Plowshares, or
That
what
was
did he
the- it was
pitch?
Mystic Gate.
Mystic Gate that he pitched? Okay. Oh no, he put that back on top.
Sorry, I get too distracted by the idea of Mike actually losing a match. The
Essence
Essence Scatter is
Scatter,
probably what went down. I can check the graveyard.
You're gonna.
Essence Scatter, yep.
actually going
Yeah,
to be easy.
and then he cast the plow.
All right, so
Now he jumps the soldier.
jumps the soldier, and that does not
so
quite
you
kill
won't-
Liliana. It's a plan, though.
Yeah.
You know they banned this card.
It's also
But the
gets all the
Jitte
cards
is
out
a
of Tom's
huge
hand.
issue.
Yeah, Tom he's kind of got inevitability
cards with all
here
these- decks with all
because
these banned cards.
he's got Liliana down to 1 where all she can do is plus. And he's got a Vidalcan Shackles, so he can steal that Fairy Rogue.
Well, that's an
Tom's in a pretty good
interesting
spot
thing.
here.
He is not in a bad spot.
Like, the
but
Jitte doesn't do
Jitte-
anything is the point.
You
Like,
can
what are you
control
playing
Because he
on?
can
Fairy,
steal
but
it.
you'll never
Yeah.
control my GT.
Totally.
Jitte's it's really hard to actually ever do
Why
anything
did I
with
do
Jitte
that?
here.
Why would I do
So
that?
he did not Sensei's Divining top on upkeep this time?
Weird. Maybe did he have a mana left for Ensa?
A little strange, because he,
I mean, drawing an island makes me think maybe he forgot.
I think so too.
You know what? I feel bad
Didn't have a
about
stop
missing
set
that,
on
but
upkeep.
I'm
I don't have a. Do you have a stop set on upkeep?
No.
I never have a stop set on my
I only
upkeep
set
either.
it when I have like a top or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. Same.
All stops.
We're having a very
Brian,
interesting
I don't get
I'm
all
not an all
stops.
stops person.
All stops and heavy F6. That's your strategy
Yes.
style.
Never timed out once.
Totally don't believe that.
Well, I mean, not been
don't
my
do
fault
that.
when it's happened.
So he's equipping.
Well, it's not.
Does he?
It's not like, I mean,
He
look,
still
Frank
controls the
yes.
Jitte? Okay.
Frank still controls the Jitte.
Right, so
But if
it-
Tom steals his response, does that
Then the-
fizzle the
then
Jitte?
Yes, you can
Yeah.
only equip the
Yeah, you-
things you control. You're
there you
right,
go.
Randy. Yeah.
But yeah, if he could sneak it on there, I mean, he wants it. Sure, Tom, deal damage with my Jitte for creature. I'll take some counters.
Pretty good, sir.
Yeah, and Liliana pluses just because
Now, does he have something spicy on the top of his deck? No, he doesn't, because he could top for it and after Liliana active. So this is really bad for Frank now because Liliana's dead here.
Yes.
He still has Bitter Blossom and 20 life to work with, and
Yes.
a Jitte, but this is a big
But
hit.
against the Shackles and an Elspeth.
Right. One more to go for Ultimate, though. I don't think that's really the game plan here. The
It's,
Jitte
it's at
works
least 2
around
more,
it.
I'll say that.
Yeah, there you
Like,
go.
maybe you want the emblem, but you're not cashing in Elspeth for that
No
emblem.
blocks.
She's too valuable in play.
Yeah, I think you just want an endless stream of soldier tokens.
Agreed.
So Liliana down, and the white Bitter Blossom against the black Bitter Blossom. All right, so now Frank, with the Bitter Blossom trigger on the stack, there's Bjorn coming
Yeah.
over to help out Frank. The community team has pulled up to an even bigger lead, 202 to 195.
They
They are
have
really
5?
rallying.
They have 5 match wins already. Only 1 from WotC this round. So they. Wow. Is that right? That's what I'm seeing.
I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Humphreys is the only one to take a match win so far in this round.
Now that word of that survival of the fittest is starting to spread around, maybe they're taking this a little more seriously.
That means that the community will have the lead going into the last round. The best WotC can do is pull back within a 1.
And right
How
now,
dare you determine their
it
nature?
does look like Tom Lapilli is going to help that effort. He's already up 1 game to 0. And both players have essentially no cards in hand.
Gives back the one fairy so he can take the one wearing a jeté.
Yeah. And there's a
Do
scepter.
what you got to do.
Is that your opponent?
He's got rid of Liliana, so now he can hold on to the scepter long enough to find something to put under
Yeah, I
it.
still control it.
I see Frank smiling. Frank, why are you smiling? No.
I feel like after this we're 2-2. See that? I just presumed I'm
All right,
losing.
Elspeth ticks onward. I don't think that he's ever going to ultimate Elspeth. I don't see the point here.
Can I just say that I would be pretty happy with Tom's deck in a normal cube draft?
You can say that.
I've said that several times.
Yeah.
No blocks.
Stipulation free. I mean, this is Tom's deck, stipulation free, right?
Close.
Frank Lepore, of course, has the constructed stipulation. He's on 60 cards. So if you look at his library there, he's got 44 cards now. And we're pretty deep into this game. All right, cash in a Mind Stone, I suppose. What about that Divining Top, though? He needs to be upkeeping that, right? Or unstepping it or whatever?
All right, did Jitte finally get counters now? He moved it back off of that one onto the non-summoning sick fairy.
If it gets counters, then that's going to change things dramatically.
Yeah, no, I think that it finally now gets counters.
Yeah, he can't untap that now or do anything.
Right,
Very,
Tom
very
went
good.
as
Yeah.
long as he could.
Okay,
But I mean,
okay.
it's like last game where he needed to find a Bitter Blossom answer, and then sweeping the board was all he needed. But Tom has not found a Bitter Blossom answer. He's just bought himself a whole bunch of turns. Those turns, though, now that Jitte is starting to pick up counters, the soldiers are going to start dying, fairies are going to start attacking.
Oh, I like where this is going.
You can actually...
Again, Elspeth's ultimate doesn't really do much against the Jitte anyway. Still can take down soldier tokens, and it's not like we know that Tom doesn't have some big creature. Is that a Banishing Light?
It is.
Oh,
Bye-bye,
this entire
Jitte,
match
right?
is not
Or Bitter Blossom, yeah.
Oh, that's a tricky call, actually.
Yeah, this is interesting. And that thing's
I'll let
going
it
to
resolve
stick.
to target like top.
Because
Sweet.
Frank is in Grixis. I mean, I guess he could unlock it for a turn,
And
but he
empty-handed.
can't actually kill it.
That would, yeah.
Jitte
fine,
or Bitter
fine,
Blossom?
too. You should listen to your teammate.
I feel like the Jitte is the
He didn't- he
scarier
didn't
one
do it.
right now.
Looks like he
And
agrees.
I appreciate the help.
So he gets to mow down a couple of soldier tokens.
Yeah, Shackles plus Elspeth, I think, beats Bitter Blossom in a heads-up fight.
Yeah.
But Jitte would win. Jitte
buddy.
beats Shackles plus Elspeth. Bitter
There's no
Blossom
match for the
doesn't.
ways of the East.
Makes sense.
Wow, just in the nick of time there,
Yes.
right when the tide had turned back towards Frank.
Yep.
It's real
Yeah, the other
Vanishing
Liliana's still having an influence on this game too. That Isercon Scepter in Tom's hand.
Hmm.
If he hadn't been forced to just discard everything and blow his Brainstorm, he'd have an Isercon Scepter in play with a Brainstorm under it. Right
Yeah,
now.
he
They
would.
have no way to
Or
deal with
a Swords of Plowshares or something like that. Yeah, he could have done it.
By the way, he did ultimate Elspeth right there.
You'd be surprised. They're actually
wonder
short
why.
on ways to deal with those too.
Do you have any, like, what does that do here? I don't think that any of his permanents are getting destroyed.
Shackles on tap.
The soldiers can die in combat.
I was hoping I would keep this fairy, but alas, no.
Lets him go on offense.
I mean, these 1/1s are never going to go away from here.
Yeah, but he's down one now.
He's down a 1/1.
Negatory.
But like, if Frank wants to block them, I mean, especially since Bitter Blossom is chipping away at Frank's life total, Frank would like to trade them off here, and he just can't now. Plus, Shackles is going
One's
to
down.
keep stealing
look at
them.
that guy. Not gonna
Yeah, I don't know. I
Might
think
be-
I
it
just keep
seems like-
making tokens. Like,
But I mean, you're just down. Well, you still get to keep making tokens.
it's just you take a turn off.
You took
right?
one turn off. He's down one token in
Oh.
order for all future tokens to be indestructible.
Like, if I thought my opponent might blow up my Banishing Light or my Shackles, it wouldn't
Yeah,
be close
so-
for me.
It's real
But
ironic.
looking at my opponent's deck, it's pretty unlikely. I'm using
Oh,
I
Grixis.
mean, you haven't seen the deck
Tom,
list.
Tom, Tom.
I just mean the colors.
Yeah. I think it's safer. I'm with Rashad on this.
Can't even like. I can't do that. Yeah, beat that.
Nicol Bolas? Are you beating that anyway?
You thought I had mana before? No.
Not that he
Now I
actually
have
knows
mana.
about Nicol Bolas, but sure. Frank has to decline to play Thieving Magpie because he doesn't want Tom to have it.
Yeah. So things looking good for Tom Lapilli here, and they need it. 195 to 202 for the community team. They need a win here from Tom Lapilli to start evening things back up
They
again.
need a win from Tom, and they need a win from Worth Wilpert against Scott MacCallum. Worth is
He's up a game.
Up a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Humphrey's got to win.
Yeah.
That's the win, right?
The
That's
win
what
for the
we said,
Wizards
yeah.
team.
Erin
Man, I
Campbell.
have a bunch of
They
sweeper
beat the
remains
back out
already.
drafter. That's all they've got. All they've beaten so far.
All right, so here comes the long, slow slog towards victory here for Tom Lepore. He's already up a game. Looking to, I mean, this has been a real sprint here. Look at that, 195 to 202. We've been within 1 point on multiple rounds.
Yeah. This game's not actually over yet. I mean, Tom gets anything meaningful to stick under the scepter, then he starts to really pull away. But he's. But I mean, it feels like Frank is one top deck away from
From something huge, right?
potentially. I mean, at least stalemating. Like he's losing very, very slowly right now. Another
Yeah,
land
actually
for
might
Lepore.
have been decent.
More soldiers. Tom, of course, leaving the
Like a
ferry on
reverse Hydra.
defense because if Frank attacks, he can trade and steal another one.
Frank's got to
Which
find
means
something
Frank
with that
can't
divine
attack.
top.
Yeah, it doesn't even trade. Yeah, fair enough. We'd actually rather have that one trade. We'll take it.
You ready for this?
Bitter Blossom chipping away.
Elixir.
Oh, hilarious.
snap.
You can shuffle a bunch
Yeah,
of bad
5
cards.
life and the reshuffle is quite good when you've been sitting on Divining Top for this many turns.
That's right. I got 5 more
Just to
turns.
get a shuffle.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a
mean,
bunch
the
of
5
cards he
lives-
doesn't really want. but-
5 life's not irrelevant.
No, it's very relevant, especially like you said, Tom Lepore is just sort of chipping away at his life total.
I'm just going to keep drawing Elixir and deck you.
Had to be a
There we
counterspell.
go.
It's always a counterspell right there.
I, from my perspective, it took a long time for the counterspell to show up. Jeez.
Now, can he put that on a scepter?
No. You can't, because he can't
To
pick
get the
X, right?
scry?
Oh, you can get the scry every turn.
That's what
You
I mean,
can't-
just a scry 2 for every
I don't
turn?
think you want to.
I'm just asking
Crystal
if you
ball?
can.
You just want a
He
crystal
can
ball in all
turn Scepter
formats?
into Crystal Ball, yes. Yeah, Franks feels obliged to start
Force
throwing
field,
away-
force
force
fielding,
fielding, yeah.
force fielding the 1
What did you
damage.
draw last turn?
Yeah. And Elspeth
Can you get 2
back
emblems?
up to
Let's just
4
keep
with
playing
already an
Blade.
emblem.
There is an achievement for double indestructible, I believe.
Tell you what, I give you my word I'll concede if you get a second one.
Lepore's got a big smile on his face over there.
Well, my guess is we're not actually going to see
Frank is offered to
Oh, it won't
concede.
last.
That's the
That's
tipping
great.
point.
Unlike Rashad, he will concede in the face of 2 emblems.
That's right.
Does Scroll Rack Divining Top do anything? Seems like it's a little redundant. I mean, I guess you do play the Scroll Rack because eventually you could rack deeper
I
than you
got
can
tops
top.
for days.
Mishra's Factory, that'll speed the clock up.
Man, look at that old school Mutavault.
I feel like I'd be rooting for this blue-white controlled deck even if I wasn't rooting for Wizards.
Frank
Tom
just
said-
called it
Tom-
an old school mutable.
Yeah, Tom said.
Getting a little
Tom said he
aggressive.
muffed 1 pick in this draft. He
Yeah.
let an entreat the angels go by,
2.
and he's like, "No, that was." And as soon as he let it go, he was like, "No, that was the perfect card for me."
Yeah, it totally was.
It's
And Aaron just got
it's
force
not
fed
ideal,
that card.
But sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Frank's got what? 2 more draw phases probably?
You see, my entire deck is awkward when you don't have any creatures I can kill.
I mean, he's got a Sensei's Divining Top. He should be like,
yeah.
Scott McCallum evened it up. He and Werther headed to
Once
game
you get a
3.
position where you
Woo.
can
oh, wow.
I got a couple saucy
not have
replays
to
lined
cast
up
any
here.
spells,
Yeah.
like it's just
We might need to get that game 3, though. That's the last game besides
Yeah.
this one.
Okay.
If you
not
if
that
you want
awkward,
to,
but it's gonna feel good.
I can pull that one off
oh, you can get it here, sure.
when this is done.
There is, yeah.
No, what is he going to steal here?
Oh, jeez.
Ready? It's gonna be amazing.
Does Lepore just condescend
right.
this because? No, right?
I have a perfectly destructible 1/1.
Will it fail to be indestructible when he
1,
gets
2,
it?
3, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, because
It's
of
not
the
the game.
stone.
Like, whatever.
Oh, as if there's a real choice
I guess
needing to be made.
Yeah, no, I would not spend my condescend on that either.
Yeah, that's right.
Great, you have a 2-2.
It
Congratulations.
has flying. I would say enjoy.
If
Yeah,
you
my guys are
right
still
click, it'll give you the
indestructible.
concede option. That's where you can find that one on there.
Frank didn't even bother to attack when he had a clear path because he needs blockers to block the
Yeah, you
indestructible
can just
guys.
just close the whole thing. Yeah.
Shackle steals back
Didn't
this
see
2-2.
that one coming, Tom.
You can have your
Real
fairy.
original.
I'll take this 2-2.
Let me guess, you're going to attack now?
1, 2, 3,
I'm playing
4.
deep blue over here.
I think this is Frank's last draw phase.
I'm going to block a couple. Not all of them, because, YOLO.
Thing of beauty from Tom Apilli.
Come on, Frank.
I know you want the survival, but you got to admire this deck. Spellbound?
Yeah, this
I
deck
thought that
is sweet.
criterion
His
was
deck is sweet.
death. He's looking to be 2-0 with it.
See it. Come on. Oh, no.
His deck is awesome.
Yeah, it's like I haven't drawn any
completely
more
agree.
since then.
Not a creature in it, just like Garfield intended.
That's an excellent point.
God. When the truth just starts flowing.
Oh, is that a good one?
And here's Talran the Sky
worked out
Summoner,
well,
which is
I
going to
think.
do nothing, and it looks like Tom Lapilli is going to end up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. No, he's got all that
Condescend,
condescend.
yeah.
You know, I don't think this does anything anyway.
It elicits an ooh from the crowd.
It would be more condescending to not
to let
counter.
it go. Yeah.
Flavor points for not condescending.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the knee-jerk reaction is just to counter it. How do you not? But
Yeah.
it actually doesn't do anything.
I don't even want to spend my
Instead of
clock
having mana, you
thinking
should
about
just say,
whether I
okay,
can survive this.
That's my
It is
vote.
condescending. Especially because the scry is valuable.
Oh, how condescending of you. And you get to scry? It's like, man. Can I,
Lepore's lamenting the fact that he gets to scry as well.
The rub-ins.
Dude, we've
for
already,
guys like me. That's right.
so we've already established that Karn is where it's at when it comes to expensive flames.
Hey, man. They can kill each... No, Karn can't kill this guy? I can kill Karn? Yeah, you can. They can kill each other. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Also, Karn is better.
Also, I might add that Karn is better.
Also, I just put another counter spell.
Oh, boy.
Finish him.
Still had all these, eh, Tom? Going there?
Yeah, we are.
The old still had all... I guess... What do you think I'm going to draw next turn?
Never did find a bitter blossom.
I don't think
Not
you're
really.
not drawing
Nope.
anything. This
Didn't
turn.
need one.
It's
killing you.
It's going to be a top.
Yeah, you said it. Vidalcan Shackles plus Elspeth is good enough, and that's going to do it. Tom Lapilli takes the match to get ever so close to the lead against the community team. We have one more match in the second round here, and we're going to bring that to you right now. Scott MacCallum is fighting Worth Wolpert.
Yeah, so Worth is on the Living Guild Pack deck, right? He had to take a gold card if there was one in the pack. What is MacCallum on? Oh, he's the
Scotty
magic
Matt
editor.
Is on the editor, so
60 words
and his
or
deck
less.
is great. It's
He
very
managed
good.
to fight Jace the Mind Sculptor?
He said it was worth it.
That's 4 words.
It was worth it.
Jace the Mind Sculptor's worth 4 words?
That's what he said.
Well, yeah, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Clearly worth 4 words.
He also went to 2 words for cryptic command.
Well, Cryptic Command, sure, 2 words. But 4 words? You gotta be pretty good to be worth 4 words.
Indeed.
I see a lot of counters on that Jace. This,
Hey, this looks similar to last
and
time.
Vidalcan Shackles.
Planeswalker plus Shackles. That cannot be good for Worth. What does Worth have in his hand? 6 cards. Okay. This is a game 3.
He's got all his colors, but he's facing Jace.
I think he just has all the colors, actually.
Well, yeah.
But
I
yes,
mean, look.
he's facing Jace on 7 loyalty right now.
Yeah.
But he's got 6 cards in his hand, so he's got to have answers somewhere here, right? Was that Armageddon?
Yes,
Yeah, it would.
sir.
What does he have to reload with here? Playing a coddle. Oh my goodness! Wow, and that makes the Shackles.
Shackles is no
There's-
longer has enough islands.
You have to pay. You have to
and
pay
the,
Echo
the
for
riders
Island
are going to trigger too on his upkeep, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to be left with a Shackles that doesn't do anything and Jace. Normally, if I told you I had Shackles and Jace, you'd be pretty happy
Oh,
for
there's
me.
an Apocryphite hanging out.
Oh, where's
I
that
didn't know.
at?
He's over here with a couple counters on him. That's-
Okay.
not
Now,
nothing.
Worth's at 24, though. Wow, what an insane play from Worth, who's, ooh, he's on 4.5 minutes, or just under 5 minutes now.
True.
This is game 3. So whoever wins the game will win it, or whoever loses their clock. It could become either type of fight, and this game could go for quite a while.
You can start F6 and like crazy here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the clock's tight, too. I mean, if MacCallum thinks for any meaningful amount of time.
I know. You can look and see, if there's a bunch of people huddled around the monitor, I think that if I'm Worth, I just say, leave me
Go
alone.
away.
Like, I don't want your help. Like, I'll win or I'll not, but I'm going for it.
Wow, regrowth. What did he get with the regrowth?
You can look.
Are they revealed? So? No.
Above that. Above that. Avalanche Riders.
He doesn't have red. No, he does Taiga. All right. So the question is, what does Apocryphite do to this board?
It's a 4/4 is what he does.
Yeah, so it can beat down if he wants it to, but Worth's at 25 and counting thanks to the Talisman.
Yeah,
Ooh,
second
but-
island, but that Avalanche Rider seems kind of good.
What do you
here.
think about double blue up for MacCallum?
I think I cast Avalanche Riders.
And just see if it goes?
Yeah.
I'm with you. Worth did nothing. He played a land and said go. It's Tropical Island.
Huh. Really? Against Jace?
Yeah,
Like
the
your
thing...
opponent's drawing 2 cards a turn.
Right, your opponent's drawing 2 cards a turn, plus if he wants, he can start ticking Jace upwards aggressively, and he can actually get it up to ultimate a lot quicker than normal, starting at 7.
Yeah.
Remember, it goes +2.
In case you haven't seen enough Jace the Mind Sculptor over the years.
Are you familiar with that one?
Yeah. I mean, in the Crossing Grip.
Grip it. So Grip takes down
Down
Shackles.
goes Shackles. That's what he
Okay.
was waiting for.
So that's what he wanted.
He didn't want his Avalanche Riders to get stolen by Shackles.
Incoming. Is this
The
going to get
Avalanche
countered?
Riders.
That's the question, because this is actually a big one.
7 cards in MacCallum's hand.
Can't play around Mana Leak. Can play around
What are you thinking for,
miscalculation.
Scott?
Oh, he's got to be careful.
I mean,
Calling
think.
brainstorm.
Tick
feel
tock.
free. Take your time
No,
deciding this.
Scotty Mac. Condescend for 2.
Which Worth can pay for.
Yes.
And probably will.
He will
but it means that,
absolutely pay for it.
MacCallum gets to scry the cards he's been putting back with Jace. And he's probably got 2 crappy ones on top. He's just been Jacing.
But this is still not good for MacCallum.
Agreed.
Jace is now going to be under pressure. It means the Apocryphite doesn't get to attack anymore. And he's going to lose
Probably
a land.
the Scrub land?
Probably now that the Shackles has gone, the Scrub
Yeah,
land can
I
be the
agree.
target.
And Worth agrees.
Oh, we got a game here, kids. Both players under 4 minutes. And this is a huge game for the outcome of the Community Cup as well. We
Absolutely.
only have one more round after this.
Right. It's either a 1-point game or a 7-point game.
Wow. It's a huge swing.
Yeah. 7 would require WotC to 6-2 the last round.
I am aggressively managing my clock at this point, by the way. I don't think that MacCallum can actually beat Worth.
He's only going to win on clock, you think? Apocryphite attacks. Serendib's playing defense.
Okay, maybe so then. Now all of a sudden he's got a big clock with the Serendib
Yeah,
of
Serendib's
free.
nice.
Yeah, that's a big play here for MacCallum.
And Worth looks like he's going to pay the Echo? No, he's changed his mind. Not going to pay the Echo. Is going to pay the Echo. He's going to take 15 seconds to pay the Echo.
All right, I'm told that Worth has Blightning in his hand,
Nice.
though does not have black mana for it. And MacCallum's got Hero's Downfall, Smother, Treachery, Spell Pierce, Repeal. So he actually has the tools
Yeah. MacCallum's deck is
to win this
sweet.
game. It's great. His deck is fantastic. So he actually does have the tools to just beat down here. Worth is going to be in trouble. I was thinking that Scott wouldn't be able to close out the game quickly enough, but with the Ifrit, he totally can.
Jace is up to 9 loyalty.
And in comes the team. 9 life here now for Worth Wolpert. He's also behind a little bit on clock, but it's starting to look like that might not be a factor here.
Right.
Creeping Tar Pit is going to give him access later. Here's a Johnny
jeez.
Vengeance.
What does that do?
Well, that can keep something tapped down. The Apocryphite or the Ifrit. He's going to keep the Apocryphite tapped down.
Freak just flies over, kills it in 2 turns though, right?
Yes, it does. And the Riders is going to battle.
Jace.
Take Jace down to 7. And Worth has to try to get ahead on clock.
Is that the repeal?
That was a repeal.
Yeah, repeals Pristine Talisman.
Yeah.
No Pristine Talisman for you.
Does that actually change the clock here? 3, 6, 9? Not really.
Jace taking up.
So looking at his opponent's
No,
library.
he's looking at his own library, actually.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure I saw him look at his own library.
It's aggressive. Treachery, Avalanche Riders.
Which he cannot pay the Echo on.
Now, he will have to pay Echo next upkeep, right?
Right.
Okay. And he's got a Spell Skite as well.
Yeah, I think that Scotty Mac's just going for the kill here.
I think he's going to have it, too.
He's going to kill a Johnny first, but I think he senses there's 2 cards in Worth's hand.
Now, that turn did bring Scott down below Worth on clock, though, by a pretty significant amount. He started that turn off ahead, but it was a long turn. He did a lot of things there. Here's Is It Charm?
Draw 2, discard 2.
Yeah, he's just digging. He's
Digging,
desperately digging. You know, if he can find a board sweeper or something. It's a clock game at this point, as Worth doesn't have the tools to do 18 damage in the time allotted here without some major help. Keep Apocryphite on tap. So that means that he's only taking 3 next turn. And
But he's not going to take any. Johnny's going to die to the
Spellskite's going to absorb the
Oh, you think Afreet's just going to attack a Johnny? Sure, of course.
Also, Spellskite is going to tap itself.
Right.
Take 1 for the team. So a Freak can kill a Johnny. Apocryphite can attack Worth.
Or can he?
Soren.
Oh, but there's a counter
Oh,
spell
the
pierce!
Spell Pierce. He repealed the artifact mana.
Oh, man.
And then turns on his own Spell Pierce.
Wow.
Scotty Mac winning from every angle.
Riders down, though. Under 2 minutes for both players now. You see their clocks have turned red. So all MacCallum has to do is find a way. Attack with Spellskite.
It's all about sending a message.
Down to 3. One
Ignores
more
a Johnny.
turn. Ignores a
even
Johnny
bother with a
because
Johnny.
even minus a Johnny for Lightning Helix effect doesn't do anything here. It's still a 1-turn clock. But he plays
Save me, John Finkel!
Finkel!
Save me, John Finkel! Not even sure Johnny Magic can win this game.
Now what is happening here?
Spellskite's going to steal the
redirect.
Johnny,
Sure.
so that Apocryphite can untap. Both of those creatures are lethal. If Scott attacks Worth, Worth has to... Ooh.
Yeah, that was a smother to take down John Finkel.
There you
And
go.
that's going to do it.
Scott
MacCallum wins. So we have a 7-point match here
We do.
as we head into the 3rd and final round of action here at the Community Cup.
Let's show some replays.
Yeah, BDM, what do you got for us for replays over in the red zone?
I've got a crazy match here between this was Bjorn Andreasson versus Matthew Gregory, and this is really an example of the grotesqueness of Cube. Matthew Gregory had to do sort of the pauper player restriction, while Bjorn had horrible marksman. He couldn't have anything that said targets. And so, Matthew comes out of the gate just super fast here. Looks like a really good red deck. He's got Young Pyromancer. He's got the Gorehouse Chainwalker. He's got Bone Splitter. But Black Sun Zenith just sweeps the board. Jackal Pup comes down. It immediately picks up the Bone Splitter. But things are going to get a little hairy really quickly. Sneak attack comes down. In comes the But wait, there's more!
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
And the game has ended.
I sense
Annihilate you
unfairness.
and annihilate you.
So that was a pretty brutal game there. I also have a really you didn't believe me about Sean Plott and Mike Turian.
I want to see it.
I still don't believe you.
I want to see it.
Well, here it comes. Sean Plott is playing. He was Arcade Games. So this was the stipulation He had to draft the cards that sounded most like arcade games. Dark Confidant, I mean, a little. So, Cheon, Mike Turian cannot block.
Does Cheon know that?
Yeah, does Cheon know?
I don't know if Cheon knows that.
He should have attacked.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
So Searing Blaze takes out Dark Confidant, makes a token. We've got Lingering Souls. We're going to flash that back. Hand of Cruelty. Oh, not yet. Mizumi Short
Hand of
Fang.
Cruelty would make a sweet game.
Yeah.
I'd play that.
So Chain Lightning takes down the hand.
Lingering Soul sounds like a boring video game, though.
Oh, Sulfuric Vortex.
Yeah, so I mean, Mike
Looks like
Turian
Let's Race.
looks like he's doing everything he wants to do here.
Kinda. Oh no! What just happened?
Tangle Wire.
That's not a
for Sean
video
Plott.
game. How did you let him draft?
It was
Tangle
late on.
Wire?
It was late on. You could make a case for it. There wasn't a
Tangle
better
Wire.
option at that point.
Randy wouldn't play Tangle Wire.
Yeah.
Is that the pack that had like Savage Lands? You could let the Savage Lands go by twice. I would totally play Savage
I thought
Lands.
Tangle Wire sounded more like
so many
like
quarters in Savage.
Savage Lands would eat all my quarters. Absolutely.
Tangle Wire sounded more like an '80s arcade game to me.
Savage Lands.
Carnage was 45th pick, so
All
there's,
right. Yeah, the Tangle Wire is going to let him just get through enough damage to win the race against Vortex, right?
Well, it's not looking great. Look at this. He's on 3.
Oh, wow. Wow, goes to 1 from the Vortex?
Yeah. I mean,
There's only 3 guys.
yeah.
What?
So good job, Mike Turian.
Or
No!
the corrupt, the Urborg, Tomb of Yagma.
And Wasteland out on the table, too! Oh, no!
Wow.
No!
So,
If Wasteland had been untapped, he could have corrupted the Urborg as a response, and the corrupt would have been for 2 less.
Yep.
Jeez.
The requisite number, by the way.
yes.
Wow, corrupt
Yes.
Axis. I guess with the Vortex, corrupt for 2, he still would have won.
Right.
But jeez, that was timely.
So,
Brutal.
Plott beat
Yeah.
Mike Turian.
Super
Yeah.
brutal.
So the community won that round 6-2, which basically means Wizards has to return the favor.
Right.
Wizards has to win this round 6-2. If the community wins 3 matches,
Oh,
they
wow.
clinch.
Can we run these sequence style like we do in
Nah.
the top 8?
All right, why don't we set it down to an interview now? James Turner sitting with Ryan Spain.
Camera to start. Welcome back to the interview wall. I'm James Turner, and I'm here with Ryan Spain, Magic Online Design Director? Design Manager, a.k.a. Mastermind behind the Limited Resources podcast.
Correct.
A.k.a. better basketball player than Marshall,
Well, that's not difficult.
and a.k.a. can grow a better beard than Marshall.
Proven.
So we have an option here. We could just sit here and beat on Marshall for the whole interview, but we should probably talk about, too easy, talk about the Community Cup. We are headed into the final round. It is Community 205, Wizards 198.
It was a rough round for us, but I like that we're going into the final round with a chance, and it's fun for everybody.
How many years have you been doing the Community Cup now?
I think this is my 4th or 5th. Let's see. Yeah. Let's call it 4 or 5. Yeah.
So you were on the team that did win against the community.
Yeah, it's true. We have won before. It's possible. We've shown that it's possible.
And I proved it was possible by being on that team. What has been highlight moment of the weekend so far for you?
Scoring perfect on the flavor challenge was awesome, but also just hanging out with everybody after the lights go off and we're drafting at the hotel. That was a lot of fun. But it's really, this is like the closest thing I have to Magic competition now. So it's like I take it seriously. I really I'm 0-2 this round. I'm really bummed. I liked my deck in a stipulation context and thought it was decent, and then ran into 2 decks that were like, those are just good cube decks. Like I just kind of went through a buzzsaw, but hopefully I can pick up a win in round 3.
Awesome. Well, good luck in the next round, the final round, and we'll send it back to the booth.
All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard here, Randy, as we heard some